So there was a shocking story that came out of a sister by the name of Chelsea Kryst. She had won Miss USA back in 2019. A lot of people were shocked because they found out that she had, jumped off of the 29th floor of her, apartment building, and they were saying that due to her jumping, of course, she passed away. But a lot of people just kind of had some questions. They say, well, we didn't, see anything wrong with her. She's like, she was, full of life. She like, she was an attorney as well. She also spoke up about different issues she dealt with. I thought that was kind of interesting. But let me go ahead and roll the clip. I want you to kind of hear some of the things that she was talking about, at least on her TikTok. But one thing I thought that was interesting as well. I want y'all brothers pay attention to something she's going to say. Let's roll that clip.
These are all microaggressions that I have experienced. I've been told I'm pretty for a black girl, although that one is closer to just being outright racist. I've been told I was articulate, which sounds like a compliment, but frequently black people hear this, and what it sounds like to us is you didn't expect that I could speak clearly because I'm a black person, and now that you're surprised, you feel like you're giving me a compliment because you're telling me I'm articulate. Instead, just say something like, I like how you made that point, because then it actually shows that you're listening to the words coming out of my mouth versus sitting in awe that a black person can speak normally. I've had random people I do not know just walk up to me and touch my hair. It makes me feel like I'm a pet, or that the hair growing out of my head is so out of the ordinary that you just absolutely had to touch it. Just ask. I'll almost always say no, but I think it's important to respect somebody's personal space and just ask before you touch their hair. I was asked on a date with a white guy if I knew my dad, which felt like he was assuming that like black people don't know our fathers. When I was still practicing law, there were people who would like list off a bunch of black people that they knew and ask me if I knew them, thinking that like all black people must know each other, or that we don't have mutual friends who are non-black. One white lawyer always wanted to introduce me to people, but every person he introduced me to was another black person. Like, I guess he would meet black people and just think, you need to meet other black people. I think he just thought he was helping me to network, but I can meet plenty of people within our community who I can network with. In many courthouses in North Carolina, you cannot bring your laptop or cell phone into the courthouse unless you're an attorney. And there were many times that I would be stopped at security and I would tell security, like, look, I have my laptop and cell phone, I'm an attorney. And they would ask to see my bar card, which looks like this. My license is currently inactive, so obviously this is old because I no longer practice law. But if I was accompanied by a white attorney from my law firm, we would just have to tell security that we were attorneys and they would let us in. There are a lot of reasons I don't want to practice law anymore, but here are 3. Number 1, I just really like what I do now. I'm a correspondent and TV host. I work on Extra, and so I get to interview really interesting people all the time. Like just in the last few weeks, some of the people I interviewed were Denzel Washington, Mariah Carey, and Alicia Keys, and they were all so nice. I was a correspondent at Miss Universe in December and in May. I do speaking engagements. And so part of it is just I really love the stuff that I do now. My second reason is billable hours are trash. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. If y'all really want to know about billable hours, just let me know and I'll make a separate video, but it's a lot and it's a big reason. My third reason is just the general lack of diversity in the legal profession and the constant microaggressions because of it. Now that can be said about a lot of different industries, but for some reason it just felt worse in the legal profession. For example, I remember once walking into a deposition, which is basically just like a formal interview of a person. So I'm a lawyer interviewing somebody on the record. And the court reporter was sitting in the room when I walked in. I think she was the only one there. And I walk in and sit down. She's like, do you know when the lawyers are getting here? Well, I'm here, so the lawyers are here. And I think what made me the most upset about that last instance was like I walk into this room with my suit on and this giant bag full of documents that I then start taking out of my bag so I can ask the person I'm deposing about this information. And I'm like, what client or layperson who walks into a deposition with all this stuff? They walk in with themselves and Jesus. That's it. And it's not just me with these experiences. Like if you look up Brian Stevenson, who was the lawyer that Michael B. Jordan played in that movie Just Mercy, Brian Stevenson. He had the same thing, or he had a similar thing happen to him where he walked into a courtroom and a judge was like, "Sir, you don't need to be sitting at counsel table without your lawyer." And he's like, "Your Honor, I'm the lawyer, sir. Thank you."
Now, bros, did you catch the one thing that she said in that video about Zaddy? I'm like, okay. Because they had some brothers that they said, they had some questions. Some brothers had some questions about what happened to her. They said, because what was going on? How did she go from the 9th floor, where she lived on the 9th floor of her building, up to the 29th floor? And I saw her last post on her page and all of that. But prior to that, she wasn't saying anything like that. She mentioned, I thought it was interesting, even though, her mom is black and her father is white, she was treated no different than anybody else, and I'm pretty sure that she dealt with that probably at times a little bit more than most. Because, when it comes to Zaddy and his people, it don't matter if you dark like me or even light like her. It doesn't matter. They said they look at us a certain way. But with the situation, her mom come out saying that she was battling depression, but she was a functional person that was depressed. That's what her mom says, okay? Depression itself, and I'm not saying that's not what she was dealing with, because, in America, a lot of people dealing with depression. The way the society is here, it can just make anybody depressed, right? Trust me on that. It's like when I leave this country and I go other places, you don't feel like the weight on your shoulders that happens here. It's like the main thing, in my opinion, why this place gets so depressing for people. First, as a black person, you're going to deal with that. That is like just a weight on you too. Like with all of the way society treats you here. Then on top of that, you got the stress of trying to just pay your bills. Then on top of that, you got people that's just, the way the society works, it divides everybody against each other. Like, it don't matter who you are. If you come to America, you're going to be divided and pitted against people. It's just, even if you don't come here to even look to do it, you're going to end up doing it, because that's the way American society is. You got to be pitted against other people, pitted against this one, that one, whether it's on class, money, color, ethnicity. This country operates like that. I'm telling you. And when you get out of this country, everybody has traveled foreign anywhere. You would know exactly what I'm talking about. You feel like that weight is off your shoulders when you're out of here. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're out here for a week or whatever, some of y'all left and just never came back because you enjoy that freedom. And that's why I'm a big proponent of travel, because I want to, tell our sisters and brothers to travel, to see other places, see how life is just different instead of being bogged down and depressed here in America. Now, there's a lot of black men who are depressed as well. Regina King, her son, recently, took his life. And they say he was dealing with depression. There's a lot of brothers, too, that are secretly depressed. And nobody cares in this country about black men. That's for sure. A woman will get more sympathy and more help than us. But what I'm saying is, don't ever be so down where you think that's the only way out of your situation. Like I said, sometimes just go travel, talk to somebody, like I said, a therapist or somebody you feel like you can trust or whatever, because we all human beings, and this country, like I said, is not for the faint of heart. I promise you that. Not this place. You know what I'm saying? And then some people look at her, she was a beauty queen, Miss USA, and thinking she didn't have no problems. Let me tell you something. Women like her have more problems than the rest of the women in America or throughout the world. Because of due to, her position and what people, how they view her, she can't be even normal. She has to be on that 24/7. That is a pressure. Some women are lucky they ain't got that kind of pressure on them, like somebody like her. And on top of dealing with her complex issues, that was personal. So, what I'm saying is, out of her situation, is very, very sad to hear that. It really is. But if you're dealing with some sort of issue and problem like that, once again, travel. Get that passport and travel, right? It's more to life than just America and its crap. Talk to somebody. Go to therapy. Do something. Don't even consider doing something to harm yourself. I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm just gonna go there in this video. Black people today, I think, are the weakest I've ever seen black people. And I'm explaining to you why. Growing up in everything, we would hear things like this and immediately would say, oh, that's stuff that them folks do. We don't do nothing like that. Because in our mind, man, we gonna go to church. I ain't about to do that to myself because growing up, you in my age group, Gen X, what were you told? You do that to yourself, you're gonna go to hell. You remember that? Growing up? So we were built to be tough. Today, a lot of our people today aren't tough at all. They have gotten extremely weakened. And I'm like, what didn't happen to us as a people? That's not things that we would do as a people at all. We were known to be the toughest people on the planet. And we still are the toughest people on the planet. But we can't sit up here and get, allowing things to bog us down. We thinking that's the way out. Okay. And I will never accept that as a way out of our issues and problems. At all. No, you have a full life. You need to live that life and enjoy that life. But, let me know in the comments what you think about, Sister Chelsie here. Like I said, I hate that she felt that was the way she should go. Now, some people, have some conspiracy ideas with this. Like I said, I don't really have any evidence pointing to that, so I don't want to go there. But some people did have some questions. Some people believe that they thought somebody could have done that to her. Like I said, I don't know. Like I said, I can't do that. I'd be responsible. I'm just got to go on with the family saying and things like that for now until some different evidence come out, which y'all let me know in the comments.